Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sadie if you don't know me already. And yeah, this video is obviously about books, which obviously I have my big bookcase back here, so you can see I'm a very fond reader. I don't always read as much as I like to, but I'm actually doing really well so far this year. I've literally been reading like as much as possible in my free time, audiobooks, which yeah, obviously this video is specifically on not necessarily like the free books you can get, but if you have a subscription to Audible, there is a catalogue, I guess, of audiobooks that you can get that are included. So kind of like, I guess like Netflix, but for audiobooks, right? So you can get it all included within your membership, but obviously they are limited to the books that they choose to have in there. And yeah, basically I just kind of wanted to let you guys know what decent books are actually on there, because I'm not gonna lie, it's obviously I haven't listened to all of them, or even that many, but just skimming through and looking at them, they kind of seem a bit trashy. Probably just me judging books by covers, but also, well, they just, yeah, are not the best at all. But I wanted to kind of let you guys know the actual good ones that you can get on there, from me literally looking through the entire catalogue. But the main books I'll kind of be discussing are classics, so really well-known books. You will obviously know most if you're into reading. Also, I just did want to mention I do have my hair up today, so I don't know if I'm just gonna look like kind of bald, but I do have it up. It's just in a plait. So the first one I actually have a physical copy of, and it is Little Women. So on the back of the blurb here it says, a heartwarming tale of love, sisterhood and hardship during the American Civil War. Little Women tells the story of the lovable March family. So yeah, that is pretty much that one. I know that there's like, obviously Little Women, they're all kind of like a family of sisters, but yeah, that is definitely one that I will be not necessarily starting straight away just because I've got a physical copy of it, but we'll definitely be getting to one day, whether it's physical copy or Audible book. And the next one is Sherlock Holmes. So I don't have a physical copy of this. I have wanted to read it for a really long time, actually. Obviously I've just heard that it's really good, and I am a big fan of like murder mystery type of things, like Agatha Christie, so I think I would really enjoy it. I'm pretty sure the audiobook is also read by Stephen Fry as well, who, yeah, he obviously does Harry Potter, and is very good at that, and has his own books, but yeah, just in general has like a really good reading voice. So it is also the what's called the definitive collection, so it is books 1 to 6, all within, you know, the same audiobook, so you get to listen to all of them, which is pretty cool. And yeah, obviously I think this goes without saying, but Sherlock Holmes is a very famous detective, fictional detective, and yeah, obviously I don't know what the individual stories are about, just because there are, I think it says there are 4 novels, yeah, and 5 collections of short stories, so definitely a good amount to go through with that one. I think that must be quite long. Oh wow, I didn't realise how long that is. Oh my god, it's 72 hours. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. So the next one is Frankenstein. I used to live in Bournemouth for 3 years whilst I was at uni, and the author of this book, Mary Shelley, she was, I don't think she was from Bournemouth, she might have been from there, but she at least lived there for her entire life. She was buried there, and yeah, I feel like because of that, because I spent a few years in Bournemouth, I feel like it's like my duty almost to finally read this book. So the next one is Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, which again, it's one of those books, I actually don't know anything, genuinely nothing about this book. All I know is that it's a classic. It's just one of those books that everybody has heard of, but I, yeah, genuinely don't know what it's about. So I've just got the Audible description of it here, the summary, and it says the passionate and tragic story of Catherine Earnshaw and Heathcliff is one of the high points of 19th century romantic literature. In the relationship of Cathy and Heathcliff, and in the wild, bleak Yorkshire moors of its setting, Wuthering Heights creates a world of its own. Conceived with a disregard for convention and an instinct for poetry and the darkest depths of the human soul in torment. Yeah, no wonder that's a classic. That sounds really good. That, yeah, obviously it's kind of like a romance type of thing, but the fact that it's got like poetic literature in it, yeah, I'm very, very excited to read that. So the next one is War and Peace, which, yeah, is a very, very long book. I think in physical copies it's about 1,400 pages. So yeah, it's intense. I mean, the Sherlock Holmes, you know, full collection was 72 hours. This one book is 60 hours and 14 minutes. Like, that's that's so intense. Again, I don't really know much about this. I know that very famous Russian author, I think he's most famous for this book. But yeah, I think I've got a couple more Leo Tolstoy books actually in my bookcase. But yeah, War and Peace is one of those, I don't know, I guess if you've read War and Peace, that it's like the biggest accomplishment pretty much everyone, like within the kind of reading community, it's like, you know, the biggest hurdle that you can possibly do. And the next one is Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. Yeah, obviously Oliver Twist is a very famous book, and it's one of those ones that I feel like I just need to read. And the next one is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Again, one of those ones I know absolutely nothing about, but have just always had the title, just had it mentioned. Not necessarily anything about it, just it's one of those ones that everyone knows. And there's actually, in the description of the audiobook, there is almost kind of like a review, a little bit of an opinion from the narrator of the audiobook. So it says, I think the reason we're so struck by Jane Eyre is how Charlotte Bronte manages to relate expertly what it means to be a human being, and that never changes. So it then goes on to say the synopsis, the summary of it. So following Jane from her childhood as an orphan in North England through her experience as a governess at Thornfield Hall, Charlotte Bronte's Gothic classic as an early exploration of women's independence in the mid-19th century. Love that. Again, oh, I'm getting really excited to read these books because, yeah, I have no idea what they're actually about, and now I'm actually reading the synopsis and I'm like, oh, sounds really, really good. So the next one is David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. So again, another one by Charles Dickens there. I, again, don't know anything about this one at all. It's kind of one of the lesser known ones, I would say. I have briefly heard of it a few times, but it's definitely not one of the like classics, I would say, like, you know, the like A Christmas Carol, right, or Oliver Twist. It's, yeah, definitely kind of like the lesser known ones for me in particular anyway. So just reading the synopsis here, I'm not gonna say the first bit because there are a lot of names that I'm not entirely sure about, but yeah, obviously it's basically about David Copperfield, and it says this dramatization explores the complexities and intimacies of that relationship beyond anything possible in Dickens' day. And then, yeah, so this one is an adaptation, so it's, you know, like a group of actors have adapted this, kind of made it more into, I don't know, maybe like a show or a film or something, that kind of thing. It's not just, you know, one person narrating the book. it's more of a production, dramatization type of thing. And the next one is The Secret Garden, which again I have the physical copy of. This is a book that I read most of it when I was in year 5, because my teacher lent it to me. But yeah, it's always been one of those ones that I guess I DNF'd it really, but yeah, I've always wanted to finish it, you know, start to finish, read the whole thing. And yeah, obviously I've got the physical copy of it, and it's also on Audible. So yeah, I think my main reason for wanting to read this is because I never finished it, but I will do it one day. So next up, there is a whole group of Jane Austen books. So the first one is Sense and Sensibility. So it actually says on here that this was Jane Austen's first published novel, and it tells a classic tale of love and heartbreak in late 18th century England. The story follows the romantic trials and tribulations of the daughters of the recently widowed Mrs. Dashwood as they encounter and learn to handle the emotionally reckless male characters of Georgian society. But yeah, I've read Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, which I'm pretty sure is actually also on here. But obviously I've read that one, so that one won't be on my list. But yeah, they do have Pride and Prejudice. So if you're interested in reading that as well, that is also on there. And then also by Jane Austen, we have got Persuasion. So Persuasion is Jane Austen's last novel, so literally the polar opposite to Sense and Sensibility. It's her last novel, and it's a tale of love and marriage told with irony and insight. So it says Anne Elliot and Captain Wentworth have met and separated years before. Their reunion after the passage or irrecoverable years of their youth forces a recognition of the false values that drove them apart. So yeah, again, it's one of those ones, it's very well known, and I definitely want to tick it off my list. And the final one by Jane Austen is Emma. So I bought this book, like the physical copy obviously, a little while ago because I am a very, very big fan of the movie Clueless, and apparently this is, well, Clueless is based on this. I don't know how much, maybe just loosely, but yeah, it is supposedly based on this. So I've always wanted to read it, and obviously haven't yet, but they also have it on Audible, that you can just access, obviously, if you have the premium membership. So it's obviously about Emma. Emma Woodhouse is introduced to us as handsome, clever, and rich, and according to Jane Austen, a heroine which no one but myself would like. So yeah, definitely excited to get into that one day. So the next one is Great Expectations. So it says that Pip is an orphan, and he's brought up in a village by his disagreeable sister and her husband Joe. And it says life is harsh and Pip has few prospects until he receives from an anonymous benefactor the chance of escaping the forge for a more promising life in London. And yeah, apparently it is often considered Dickens' best loved work. And the next one I also have the physical copy of is Dracula. And yeah, obviously very well known book, and very well known character, obviously within so many movie adaptations, Hotel Transylvania. And yeah, obviously it's about a vampire. Other than that, I really don't know what this is about. So it says on the back here, it is a truly iconic and unsettling tale of vampirism, and describes the demonic subject of his chilling masterpiece, Dracula. But yeah, it's definitely one of those ones where I'm very curious about it. I think, yeah, obviously I don't really know the story, but it's very, very well known one. So again, just another one I kind of want to know what it's all about. So this is the very last book in the sort of classics list that I've made, and it is North and South. And yeah, I really don't know very much about this. I think I heard of it initially through Jack Edwards here on YouTube, and because I get like all of my book recommendations from him. So yeah, in general, I don't really know what it's about. I know it's based in England, so it's obviously to do with the north and south of England. So it says that it is Mrs. Gaskell's finest social novel, is also the powerfully moving story of the developing relationship between Southern-born Margaret Hale and John Thornton, the young northern mill owner. So yeah, I'd definitely be very interested to learn and look at the history behind this book as well. So that is it for all of the classic books that I have found on Audible. Obviously, if anybody knows of any others that are in the Plus catalogue, definitely let everyone know. You know, these are just kind of the ones that I knew of and had heard of before, and ones that I definitely want to read, listen to at some point. But there is also actually, so far I've found one book that is a contemporary one which I'm currently listening to, and I thought just whilst I'm, you know, making this video, I might as well mention it here. Obviously if I find any others that I'm interested in, then I will let you guys know, but I'm currently listening to, it's called The Rebound, and it does kind of sound like a cheesy rom-com type of thing, you know, and it kind of is. But I also kind of love it. It's an Audible original. Basically, there's this woman who is terrified of marriage. She's in kind of like a long-term, like 7-year relationship with this guy, right? And he proposes to her and she kind of freaks out. It has like, you know, a breakdown, doesn't know what to do. And she's like, right, I have an idea. Give me 3 months till the end of summer, till the end of August, and you know, I just need like time away. I'm gonna work on myself, I'm gonna go to therapy, I'm gonna like figure this whole thing out, and I'll come back to you and then we can get married. Because obviously she's like desperate to be with him, she wants to be with him, but she just doesn't want to get married. And basically whilst she is having that time away, he actually first of all said that they are not together during this period, they can do whatever they want, they can be with other people. And so yeah, so she has met this other guy who is going through a divorce, and he is basically just helping her, I guess, learn her independence, be her own person, have more experiences. Yeah, I feel like where I'm at the moment, I'm hoping that there is going to be some sort of a plot twist and something is going to happen, because in my mind at least, I know how it's going to end up, but I'm kind of hoping that I don't know. I don't know whether I want it to happen like that, or I don't know. I'm gonna have to see. But I just don't want it to kind of follow a cliche, I guess. But so far, it's very good. I would recommend it. I'm a little bit attached to the characters now, and I really just want them to do well and have a good life and everything. So yeah, I would definitely recommend giving that a listen to. But yeah, these were just kind of like my top picks within the Audible Plus catalogue. So if you are interested in reading any of these, definitely let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.